Welcome everyone to another episode of Bruvcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Situl.
So Raj is away today. We've given him extended parental leave, and he's got a new boss, obviously. So she's keeping him busy. So it's just me and Situl today. It's the first time, the podcast is like Raj's baby, and I feel like it's the first time he's let go of his baby and given it to probably the two worst people to look after. But hey, it is what it is. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And I have to say, you know what, Situl, yeah? This whole week, obviously, Raj has been saying to me, Mick, we need to get another episode out, and we really need to make sure. But he goes, I won't be able to join because obviously little one, may or may not let me, etc. And then he was like, all week been sending me like logins, and he's been sending me instructions. And I was like, you know what? I've not been parented like this for a while. Yeah? And it reminded me back of uni days. You know when he used to parent us?
Yeah.
It's just like that. Yeah, it was just crazy. Yeah. So I was like, do you know what? Yeah, I was like, do you know what? This is when someone's passionate about something. So don't worry, Raj. It's all in good hands.
We've got it. So you know what? I've just been watching Mick follow your instructions, and this stuff's complicated.
Yeah.
Right. So even like kind of all the kind of logging on and all the kind of different software going on, right? And so that just brings me back to, like, as you said, like how Raj used to like kind of mother us and coach us with kind of IT. So anytime something new came out, Raj was like the pioneer.
Is the expert?
In the group.
Yeah.
In the group. It just takes me back. It's like, if I had to do this on my own, I would be lost.
100%. Even just now, right? Do you hear him on the phone? So to all of our listeners, just to give you some context, we always have troubleshooting when Raj's not around. So I gave Raj a call. And after we got over the troubleshooting, I went, I always go towards the extra step and say, Raj, you just got to press start new session, right? And he's like, I've given you the instructions, bruv. And all you hear is... Hey, it is what it is, right? No. And you know what? To be fair, he's been doing a lot of editing, so shout out to Raj. And just want to give a shout out to everyone who's listened to the last few episodes that we've been dropping. Raj he's been giving us updates on stats, etc. So, and it's nice to see, the growth that we're seeing, especially from countries that we probably didn't expect to see growth from. So, thank you for showing your support and listening.
It's going international. I'm just intrigued on some of the more kind of discrete countries, like who would be listening to this. Two guys sitting in South London.
Do you know what? I always think, I would think it definitely a success, right? If someone, I always imagine like two people in my my dad's village in India.
Yeah.
I don't know, sitting by this fire. When I used to go to India, I used to see this, like where the shops are.
Yeah.
You see the randoms after work. They're just gathered around, and they're like just sitting there with a fire they've created themselves, right? I just imagine two people sitting there, listening to our pod. I don't know why, but that's what success looks like for me for this pod, man. In the Gam, innit? I'm shouting to the two people in the village, man. Whoever do start listening to this, but hey, man, what's been going on, Situl?
Oh, you know what? I've had the most fantastic week with no children. So yeah, like last week when we did the last pod, I had a couple of days off after that with the kids. So kind of summer holidays, playing whatever, and then they've been they've gone for a kind of a mini holiday at my parents'. So me and Pav have been sitting there like, what do we do with ourselves? And now I was just thinking today, and we were having a conversation earlier, like, what did I do before kids? And what did I do, like, with my time? It's just shocked me, like, we've been going for walks, and, there's only so much Netflix you can watch, and it's like, you just don't realize how much kind of time you have to, like, get jobs done. And, although I missed them like crazy, like on Monday, we popped in for dinner at my parents, so we got to see them. But the thing was, the minute I knocked the door, they ran upstairs. They literally ran upstairs. Didn't want to say hello. were like doing their thing. It's like I didn't exist. I was a bit heartbroken.
Do you know what? That's the thing, though, right? Do you feel like when they're with the grandparents, they don't need anyone else, right?
Yeah,
They've just been brainwashed to the point where, as in like in a good way, where because grandparents, they show them. There's never. I mean, I don't know about yours, but my parents definitely shy away from discipline. Yeah, it's everything is a yes for them, because they're just so excited to have them. So obviously, it's like a false economy, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So what my eldest does when she goes over to my parents and my brother still lives there is she will emotionally blackmail my mum and dad and my brother to buy her crap off Amazon because she'll be asking myself and Pav for months on end, and we're like, no, you're not buying more crap, right? You've got enough. And so have you seen all these little fidget things? It's like a craze, right? So she's got this craze around fidgets. She's got hundreds of these things now, like just sitting there, but she can't have enough. So every time she goes, it's like a new fidget. And I have to like tell my parents, like, you need to stop this.
Yeah.
And my brother's like, don't give in to the emotional blackmail.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's the thing. Once they have one, once they start, what, is she collecting them?
I don't know. She plays with them for about a day or two, and that's it.
And there's one more. Do you know what? That's the thing. Amazon is, it's funny, right? My 5-year-old will be like, Daddy, need this book from school. They've got it at school and I want it. Is it okay if I get it? I don't mind if it's a book, but it's funny when they say, can you order on Amazon? It'll come tomorrow. They just know it will be there tomorrow. Like, when we wanted something, it was like, oh, I need a new bike, or I need this. And when you're going to get something new, but it never just happens at that point. It's like, don't worry, we'll go on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm going to Saturday night, Jason. Yeah. When the weekend. But Saturday comes, you get dressed and everything, and your parents might be busy.
Yeah.
But for these kids these days, it's like it's
Instant
there
gratification.
at a touch of a button, and they know, right, if they're going to get it. But yeah, I know what you mean. I think what, when my kids as well. So Situl and I both are traveling light today, and we're not even doing this podcast remotely like we normally would. Because Situl's come over to mine today, and it's the first podcast we've probably since Raj and I did the first episode that we're doing one face to face, which is really nice as well. But like I said, both traveling light. My kids are as well away with the grandparents at the moment, and it's like they don't even need us, And like you said, what did you do before you had kids? I don't even know. Like, I think I've not been as productive as I normally would if the kids were here, because you're short on time.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's just like, it's like I wake up in the morning and I do everything at a leisure. Things that should take literally 5 minutes are taking me an hour, just simply because I'm being unproductive and just probably damn right lazy because I don't have the other things that I need to do. But at the same time, you miss them because it's nice to be apart from them maybe for about a day or a few hours a day, or even for one day. But after that, it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, bring them back, because I think our minds and our bodies have got used to that noise.
Exactly.
Or someone coming up to you to talk to you those little things, you don't realize what kind of impact they're having on you until it's no longer there.
Yeah. Right? You know what we've noticed, like, dinner times are worse, right?
Yeah. So
when you have kids, you're more or less cooking like 5 different meals. But now I'm like, you know what? This is actually nice. We can actually have the same meal and sit down on a dinner table and eat the same thing. It's just as you say, it's those little things. But then, like, normally, like, when it's school time, half the time you spend like finishing your kids' dinners, right? And sometimes you don't even make your own because you just don't have time. But it's like the little things like you miss.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think, let me ask you a question. If you and your missus, the kids aren't there, so you're cooking at one meal. When it's at the dinner table, is it pin drop silence?
Yeah. And it's like, because normally you're always, when you have that free time, you're always planning something. Yeah. Like, we need to do this or that. Yeah. Or we got this coming up. Now we're actually having like actual conversations.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels weird.
Even then, like, so when me and Mrs. after we've made dinner, we sat down today to eat, and like normally we've now got into a habit obviously with the kids to eat at dinner table, because my kids' table manners are just, they're non-existent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when we sat down to eat today, she had her iPad with her. Now, normally, obviously, iPad, but obviously, kids aren't here, so let's just do what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even talk to each other. And I was like, shit, is this what, you know what it is? I was like, damn, man, this is like next stage of marriage, isn't it? When the kids aren't here, because you're not talking about planning with the kids and there's nothing else to talk about. Shit, like, what else have we talked about this whole week, right? The kids haven't been here. So we've talked about blinds and ordering stuff like, I don't know, like bed sheets and a mattress, but we've not really talk about anything else. Like, we've sat there watching TV, and apparently, like, watching TV together as a couple. Apparently, it's like it's not really spending quality time, but it's just like you're doing the things that you can't normally do in peace. And even if so, like, it just hit me today. I was like, one have just been unproductive. So I was like, actually, is it best to have the kids there so how much, how short of time you are, so you knock those things out very quickly. But
you procrastinate, don't you?
Procrastination is through the roof. But that's one thing. I don't know. It's just one thing that it's like a phase, isn't it? Like I said, isn't it? Now, when they come back, it's going to be like within a day, you're going to be exhausted.
Exactly. I'm like, I needed longer.
All that rest, all that R&R that you've had, is gone out the window. You like, you know what? I'm always like this, I'll miss them. Like when I speak to them every day on the phone, I'm like, and they're like, "Hi, Daddy," and it's like they're like these angelic people over the phone. I'm like, who? This. She's changed. They've gone. They've but when they come back, bruv, it's like it's great for 5-10 minutes because it's like I say, it's the picking up from them from school or the grandparents, bringing them home is the best time of the day or the best experience. But once they get through that door, it's like they've gone through this portal, and they've gone back to their old ways, and that's it. They start tearing the house apart, arguing with each other, and you're back to normal within 5 minutes of coming through the door. And I'm like, I need a break.
I know, exactly. No, I know what you mean. It's just like one of those things where you just can't. You can't help it. But I guess because they're going, as you said, they're going through that phase, right? Where, and I don't know what it is, when they're anywhere but home, they're just different. It's just like better behaved. Because I'm finding that, like, at my mum and dad's, when they're told to do something, they kind of do it. Like, there's a little resistance sometimes. That's natural because they're kids. But like most of the time, I don't think my parents go through half the shit I have to go through when I'm trying to get my kids to like eat dinner or have a shower or whatever. I'm like, are you kind of doing this to wind me up, kind of thing?
Are you like playing you basically, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you feel that's because grandparents aren't as busy as they used to be, so they've got more time to be patient? With us, obviously, we're always telling them, don't do this, do this, don't do this, don't do that. So we've worn out that kind of, I don't know, that authority. I hope not, because it's really early for us to wear out that authority. But I think that's what it is. I think with my, when I go, when I see them with my parents, it's like they've got. I used to dictate to my parents, don't do this. Then after a while, I got tired of dictating to them to say, I was like, you know what, you've got your own parenting style. When they're with you, do what you have to, but just keep to the strict time, these strict measures, basically. But you're right, man. It's just like I feel like. They play us to another level, right? Over there, they're like, got good as gold. But when they're with us, it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, how can I, they like liaise. If you've got two kids, they liaise with each other, and be like, oh, how should we fuck things up today?
But you know what? You're saying that, you know what I'm saying recently, over the last couple of months, what I've noticed is they will like complain about each other to like either me or Pav. And then like, we were all in the car, and I must have just like kind of, and it started like a couple of months ago, where I was just like to my youngest, like, can you stop snitching? And the kids have picked that up. So when they basically tell on each other, saying, oh, like this one did this or this one did this, like to me and Pav, the other one will be like, can you stop snitching? And now they've picked it up. It's hilarious.
Do you know what? Something happened this week, right? So Situl's got a little girl, same age as my eldest as well. So both our eldest are the same age. And now it's like having girls, I feel like there's things that, just having kids in general, right? There's awkward moments, new phases. And so this week, what happened was we my eldest now likes Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
So she started to watch Harry Potter and like get into it. Yeah, so she's seen all of them now, and like now she's really into it. Like we're to the point where she wants to read the books, etc. So at my mother-in-law's house where they are right now, you know, the eldest was watching Harry Potter, and then there's a kissing scene.
Oh
in
yeah.
it, yeah. I think is it Hermione and Ron?
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, yeah, but because I haven't seen them properly, right? And obviously we've let them watch Harry Potter. We've let the eldest watch Harry Potter with us, and obviously the little one's always around, but she'll watch it until she gets scared, and she won't, right? And my little one's 5. So when the kissing scene was going on, my eldest, runs to my youngest and says, "You're missing the kissing scene." I was like, okay. And I wasn't there when this happened. My sister-in-law told me because she was there with them. And my brother-in-law clocked, and he goes to my eldest, "Why are you telling her that?" And she goes, "Because she likes the kissing scenes." I was like, and then obviously this got relayed back to me, and I was like, this is not happening this early. This is not happening this early, yeah. But it's such a weird thing. How do you even parent that?
No,
I don't even know. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she gets to watch these movies, as in this particular movie.
Yeah.
Because, and obviously now they're at 5 going onwards, they become more and more inquisitive. And I feel like the youngest are more clued on at the same age than the eldest were at that same age. So I'm like, damn, I was like, oh no. So I literally sat there for about a few minutes when I read the message that came through to me. I mean, it's funny, but then I also thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, oh man, this is going to get worse. Yeah. and then it hit me. They have their own, now that they're growing closer and they're growing closer in age, I guess, in that sense that, you know, in terms of like development, they've got their own language, because I didn't know that. This is where they're going to start to, you know, like when they get along, and I'm sure like when you'll both get along, right? Both
they've got code.
They've got code. And it's just like, oh shit. So this is now where you think they're going to run rings around you. You know, it's like starting. And I was like, and I didn't, you know what? You just don't anticipate these things. I was like, damn, Harry Potter, man. I thought Harry Potter was a safe bet.
No, completely. Like, when you hear like kids talking about having, at that age, having like girlfriends and boyfriends, right, in school. Like, obviously it's not real, but you know, the whole concept of that wasn't even a thing when we were at school, right? At what, 8 years old? Like, we were, you know, it was like girls EU kind of thing. Like, you know, the boys were doing the boys thing, girls were doing the girls thing. It was just very different. But today, my God, like some of the stuff you hear at school, I'm like, dude, man, this is, I don't want to be in this conversation with these are little girls.
Little girls, 7, 8 year olds. And do you know what? We do a gymnastics run, a carpool with my oldest is two friends, a boy and a girl, and some of this, you know, and they're older in terms of the same age, obviously, but my oldest is the youngest in the class, and these guys are one of the oldest in the class. So you can see the parity of, you know, that those 8-9 months have, and some of the things they come out with, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, and I'm like, and then my little one's probably there. She sometimes is clueless on what's, you know, like, and I'm like, and then then as time's gone on, you can see her into, you know, her exposure to these things, like, oh, like it's not, and like she's like, oh, don't worry, Daddy, are you listening, Daddy? I was like, no, I'm not listening at all, you know, and obviously you are listening, and I'm like, oh my God, like what's going on? Some of these things that are coming out now,
dude, you know, so that just reminded me. So when one of the girls from really school comes over, she's come over for a play date, and they always go into her room, right, to like, they're like, you know, try different outfits or whatever, and they're playing, right, bruh. But then sometimes they're talking. Those times I just stand outside the door, just listening to that conversation. I'm like, my God, can we stop growing up? It's so weird. And then like she's got an iPad, and they've been recording videos, like dance videos and posing videos. Bro, I'm looking at this like, this can't be right. This like kind of the new wave of, and it's all these kids on YouTube and TikTok and stuff, right? But it's like this can't be right. Like, you guys are like dancing to, like, Nicki Minaj, for example. Not
Yeah.
Nicki, but you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I know what you mean.
It's
I know
like,
that.
you're just too
But
young.
even if it's pop dancers, that they're still too young. You feel like they're too young because at 8 we didn't know any of that stuff,
Yeah,
right? We were just,
exactly.
and I feel like now, do you think with technology they're just getting, because they don't get to go out and play like we used to, right? I say
Yeah.
normal, but for our normality at that age was, oh, you're bored, okay, go out and play.
Yeah.
Unsupervised, go ride your bike on the
Yeah.
block or whatever. Now it's like, well, they're using their brains a bit more to keep themselves more entertained in the house. But like, there are rarities where they'll start to use their imagination and do tea parties and play dress up or whatever. Yeah. But I feel like now that's now less, and it's more like, they just want to grow up.
Yeah.
Like you said, record videos and blogs and vlogs and all that kind of stuff, or even like what were they? Even like messaging. Like, so my oldest is now, like using her iPad to do iMessage and stuff.
Yeah.
And I find that strange.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay. And then the next thing is like, there's 8-year-olds at her school, going like year 3 or 4 who walk around with phones.
No
because
way.
That's and
insane,
it's just like, that's what's going to, now we're coming to a place here, right? Shit, everything's going to go to shit because you're going to have less influence over your kids because they're going to be at school with these things and they're going to get more and more influence. Let me ask you a question. Have either of your kids asked you where babies come from yet? The question of all questions.
Kind of, but I think we so yes and no, because it was like, they know babies come from mothers' tummies, but not to the extent of how that happens.
So check this, So my little one said to me, so we've got a couple friends who just moved to Australia, right? And they had 2 boys, same age as my 2 girls, so they really got on, and they just had a third, and they've had a baby girl. So they recently came over to visit, and my little one said she wanted to level the playing field because obviously they've got 2 boys and a girl, and we're just 2 girls, right? I've got 2 girls, so they're like, Daddy, I think we need a brother. I was like, okay. So I was like, should we go? She was like, do you think we can get one? And do you think I was like, yeah, sure. Do you know where they come from? She goes, Mummy's tummy. I was like, no, you pick them up from Costco. Yes, I was like, next time we go to Costco, we'll pick them up. She just looked at me and she was like, Costco? What, we just go to Costco and pick them up? And then she was like, no, Dad. She's like, no, they don't, Daddy. They come from Mummy's tummy. So, you know what I mean? It's just like one of those things where they're just getting more and more clued on.
The one thing I worry about is I don't know if like the next generation will be like street smart.
True. Yeah, 100%. That's definitely a fear of mine. And you can't, you can teach being like street smart to a certain extent, but that's got to be consistently. I think I don't know. I feel like we learn how to be street smart just through experiences of school and being. Does that make sense? And you're not going to get that because these guys go to schools with a closed off environment.
Exactly.
And you're always, and not to a certain extent where you're helicopter parenting them, but you're always around. You're always going to be there to take them here or take them there.
Yeah.
So you're right, man. You're right. What's your biggest fear about that?
I think if they don't learn that at a young age, it's when they start like growing up, kind of teenage years, going to uni, then they might want to travel the world, whatever. So they just, when they start experiencing like different, I don't know, cohorts of people, how to deal with that, because not everyone's the same. So that's the, and there are people in the world that will take advantage of naive people. And so my biggest fear is like, just, as you say, you could teach them to a level, but it's so important that they have that kind of broader kind of experience with like different types of people.
Do you know what? I completely agree, because I feel like, like they go to school. So if they're only going to school, then they're going to get more, they're going to be comfortable with those people because they see them every day. They know
Yeah.
how to talk to them, etc. It's a closed off environment. But I always feel like if we send them to clubs or send them to other places where there's another mixture of kids, etc. From other schools, but also like teachers, different teachers, because if they can start to speak to different teachers, different people outside of their network, it just gives them a bit more confidence. And sometimes I feel like kids these days don't ask for enough help. They don't know how to use their words. They don't know how to, because they only go to people they're comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes they need to know that if you don't speak up, then you're not going to get to the end goal of what you need.
So I was thinking about this today, and I only started thinking about this, right? Because, obviously we don't have the kids. It's just me and Pat. I was like, do you think COVID changed you as a person?
Yeah. Definitely.
How do you think? Because I've been thinking about this, and I'm like,
I've become more of a homebody.
Yeah,
I'm always thinking about home. I don't know why, but even because I've not been I think there was a point where I was thinking, oh no, you know what, I need to get out more. But I've become a bit more. I don't know if it's COVID as well, or the kids growing up as well at the same time, because we transitioned from toddler to infants to children now, right? In that period, and they grow up. That COVID happened at a period where that happened so fast, and now I just feel like something has changed me in the sense that I don't know, I feel like I'm in full parent mode now. It's no longer that you're a new parent or a young parent or anything. I feel like that's it. This is life now. Do you understand? Someone's flicked a switch, and after COVID, I feel like everything has just spiraled out of control in the sense that it's gone so quick. Everything is now needed. It's fast paced. Yeah. And that's why I feel like I've changed as a person in the sense that I'm more more of a homebody. When I go out, after a certain time, I'm done. No. Before I could go out all night, or you know what I mean. And now exactly. I'm thinking about being home ahead of a night out before I've even left the door. And I was like, shit, this is fuck. I was like, I always say this, even now, I'm like, why, when are you gonna spiral out? Because I'm always thinking about the next day now. I need to do this. Exactly. There's more on my mind now. Do you feel that? You
think more, you definitely think more. So, you're saying life is so fast now.
Yeah.
I think everything slowed down so much. It gave you loads of time to think and space. And, being at home. But when there was that period where it was a little bit of a hybrid where things were slowly opening up, but not quite. It was enough, but it wasn't too much. But I think that pace of life was perfect in terms of, but now, as you say, it's all spiraled out of control. Everything's flying 100 miles an hour, and to keep up with that mentally is kind of difficult. And that's staying at home. I was like, actually, it's you got a lot of self-reflection, right?
And
it's what else do you do with your time? We used to all call each other and on group calls and just say hello, and then but then you had so much thinking time, and it wasn't it was just different. I think now struggling with the pace of life is very different, and I notice a physical difference when I leave London and I go to Leicester. The pace of life outside London is a bit slower. Not as fast as London, but it's still quite fast.
Exactly.
And so, in 2-3 days, I'm not used to it. So I start panicking, what do I do with myself? After the 2-3 days, it's fine.
That's it.
Because it's chilled and, slowed down a bit. And then it's God, because you're always on edge. I need to do something. I don't know what it is.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Do you know what? So that's exactly how I feel. So, you know what? And I thought, what is going on here? So, and this has been So obviously we just got the house done and we moved back in. And I thought, okay. And then we've just gone through 3. Then it calmed down a little bit, and then 3 weddings. And I thought, okay, maybe it's that. So I'm always blaming it on those things. I'm on edge because that's not done yet. So I'm on edge. And now the weddings are all over, right? And it's been over for about a month. So I thought, okay, now it should be simmering down. But I'm still experiencing the same thing. So you wake up in the morning and you're already, I don't know if you wake up a bit anxious, but I'm anxious because I want to get the kids to school. Then I need to start work. Then you're you have your calls or whatever, then your breakfast or whatever, lunch. If you miss one of those meals or whatever, then you're catching up for the rest of the day. Before you know it, it's 2:45, and you're already talking to the missus about, oh, are you going to pick them up or am I going to? All that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then from that period of 3 to about until after dinner, you're bam gone. You know what? And at 6 o'clock, I am mentally just exhausted. I'm exhausted. Like I've got nothing left, and I haven't even lifted a finger. I've not done much. Back in the day,
just going through the motions.
You're just going through it, and then you're right. Didn't you feel a sense? The only time I feel a sense of calm is once the kitchen's clean. And then we've got and actually no, kitchen's clean, and the kids have been put to bed, because that is another another thing you have to jump through. Until they're in their actual bed, I feel calm. And then you go down, you're just chilling, and you're so exhausted. You've got stuff to do, like pay that bill or sign up for this thing or whatever, right? But you can't be bothered to do it, because the first thing I do is get some tea, and the worst thing you could do is go and sit on that couch, because the first thing you're going to do is that and you're going to flick for about half an hour. You're going to find something. Before you know it, you should be going to bed, but you're having your downtime, and then
you need that shut off.
I watch something more than I should have, and then I go sleep late, and it's a knock-on effect every day. So you're right, man. The anxiety, my anxiety is like when wake up in the morning to get shit done, basically, right? Like even to the point where if I have left the house without putting the dishes from the dishwasher, the clean dishes back into, because you run the cycle at night, that affects me. So you're right. So from the point of like that whole day, and you're right, when you calm down at around 6-7 o'clock, that's when the calm.
Because it's that pace of life. Like now, it's the weird thing. Like this week I've had no reason to wake up early. I wake up and Pavel's screaming at me like for this week. It's like, why the hell are you waking up at 5 o'clock every day? When the kids are here, when they're not here. Like literally, I don't even set alarm anymore. Bam, 5 o'clock, I'm awake.
Do you feel rested?
Sometimes, but sometimes I don't. But I think then the minute I'm up, it's like literally I might just be lying in bed, but it's like rolling through the motions. And what happens to me? I don't know if this happens to you. When you're like thinking of the list and the things to do through your head, and it's like I see it like a film roll that just going like with a list.
It's like a Rolodex,
and then. Because of that's happening in my mind, like Pav might be telling something and I'm missing something else. Because it's like your mind's running through something, you're having a conversation, but it's not registering.
Oh my God, yes.
And she's like, are you listening? I'm like, I'm thinking about something. What are you thinking about? I'm like, I can't, like, it's rolling and you're talking to me to do something and it's not registering. And then I don't do it.
Exactly. Do you know what? I was actually going to bring this up because this happens to me all the time. And so yesterday, Mrs. came up to me when I came down for lunch, and my mind was rolling, like you said, just like there's so many things I need to do. And she had about 5 minutes before a meeting. So she had a light bulb moment, and she was talking about just some kind of investment or whatever. And I was like, she was talking to me, and she'd written it all down, but she was like talking to me very fast. She had a minute to go, and she was really like brain dumping everything she wanted to say. And I had this I was looking at her and I had this blank look on my face. Like I'm trying so hard to process what she's saying. And I know it's not difficult. It's not that hard to understand what she's saying. But I'm finding it hard to just take it, put it in here and let her walk away and then process it myself, because she's talking. And I was like, you need to stop now, because my brain was overloaded. And I think it's because you're staring at a screen all day. You're taking on so much information. You're thinking, when you're in work mode, you're thinking about what I need to tick off work or anything. And I was like, shit, this always happens. And then you end up in an argument. And she was like, oh my God, you never listen to me. And I was like, here we go again. And I was like, I should have come down for lunch. Like 5 minutes later, and we could have avoided it. And then and I was like, you know what? This is proof, I hope my missus is listening, that I'm not the only one that goes through this, that we're not doing this to like, yank your chain or make life even harder for you, It's just how men are wired.
But that's the thing. Women are different. They can do that. But you say for us, it's like you can't process too many things at once. And when you try, it goes wrong. Like I've noticed that, like, my mind's jumping, right? And if it jumps too much, it's like I could feel something short circuiting when I like miss. It's like it's like, what's that? Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
A little short,
exactly.
short circuit, like sparks flying
exactly.
out.
Yeah. It's like short circuit. It's like, that's it, shut down.
Completely shut down. And it's like, you know what? I don't know. It's just like, do you ever feel like your head's going to explode? Like not literally, but as in you feel like all this clouded, and I was saying like the other day, I was like, you've got so many things. Like when I first started working after I got married, etc., I could finish my work in a day and leave on time. Even had time to put my mouse back where it was on my desk at work and leave. Nice and come back, do my work. Go to lunch on time. That doesn't exist anymore. Because I used to look around me, I was like, am I not working hard enough? Like, what is going on? Like, everyone else is like working through lunch, or is my job too easy for me? Do I need to challenge myself more? But and I had this chat with a career coach, and he's like, "How old are you?" And he's like, "Your time will come." And then if there's no calm, he goes, push yourself, but your time will come. Don't worry. Like you're young in your working career, as you start progressing, that stress will come. You get married, you have kids, blah, 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 that will come. And it's true. Like, so he's like, enjoy, don't think you're not pushing yourself hard enough, because if you're where you are now in a few years' time, then you're not pushing yourself hard enough. But if you're trick, and then it's like, and now I get it. It's like everything, there's so much to think about. And all those things that you said out in your head that you're thinking about, you're never going to tick them off. I had a conversation. I was really morbid today as well. I was like, when we leave this world, you're never going to leave with everything ticked off. You're going to have things, and not even the bloody ghost of you is going to be able to come back, as in you know what I mean? I was like, and I think I was saying it to make a point to her, and she just looked at me blankly, like as if something had hit her, and I was like, even me saying it made me feel uncomfortable in the sense that I'm not going to have everything ticked off. You're not. But
that just to clarify, that isn't to say that women should push men to do everything and take everything off.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the point. The point is not to speed this shit up.
Yeah, exactly. Not fast forward. Yeah, it's true.
I just have to clarify.
Situl's missus at home right now. She's probably like drawing up another list.
Bloody hell.
I'm sure mine is as well. But do you know what? And I think like life is so fast paced. I don't know. Like there's days where, like today, one of the things I was meant to do, and this is like something I've been putting off, is sand down the barbecue. Yeah. And I'm like, I've been putting it off, but obviously for summer, you need to have your barbecue on point. So, and that's something, and I'm like, okay, that's another thing. Then you get over that. It takes you however long it does. The missus will always have something else lined up for you to do. I don't prioritize when I've got my free time. I don't prioritize my free time anymore. I let the missus prioritize my free time because my free time is actually her time to get shit done.
That is it.
And then and the only time when I'm motivated to do stuff, they're like, no, you can't, because you can't do it on your own. You can't do it without them, and you can't do it without them either, because they want to be part of it. So it's like, okay, what do I do? I've got all this free time. What do I do? But when you're sitting down, you feel guilty. Do you feel guilty? Do you think we've reached not our parents' stage, but our parents barely probably sat around? When if there's something to do, like the smallest thing, do it done. It's done before the crack of dawn. Or if there's a program on that they really want to watch, but they need to go run that errand, that program that's gone. They're gone out the door and it's do it. Whereas I feel like we've got that. Is it complacency from my side, or is it now we're getting to that stage where we need to start doing these errands quick time? Because I feel like if you don't act now, you're going to miss out, or you're not going to get that spot, that ticket basically that you want for your kids. I don't know, we're talking about Raventots or any kind of errand that you've got to run. I feel like we're getting to our parents' stage of life where that's a priority now, And I'm like, oh shit, now it's like, it's like we flicked a switch.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes, like some of it, you have to like think to yourself. And I've my missus is probably listening, but I've said to myself, what could go wrong if I don't do this? That's probably the worst shit I've said to myself, because like there's stuff on the list that's been on the list for 6 months. I'm like, it's not broken.
Yeah.
It's not going to kill anyone. It's like,
True.
but yeah, I say that to myself to justify. I don't know, as you say, is it complacency? Is it laziness? But sometimes it's like there are more important things to do, or like maybe you just need a bit of that kind of downtime, and it's like irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
That's a good way of looking at it and dissecting it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got a way of prioritizing.
No, I don't.
I think I'd go and do. Sometimes I don't do the most important thing first. I do the most relevant. I do the easiest thing first. I think, just to say I got something done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, are we? Is that a man thing? Do you think that's a man thing?
Yeah, it is.
Because I feel women prioritize better.
Yeah,
women,
they do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I
agree. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's like, but then to them, everything is priority.
Yeah,
like
true.
there is no order. Everything is number one priority. That should be all done at once, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I say like, do I do this thing or do I do you pick? You tell me which one you want done.
Yeah. Does that mean? Because this happens in my household. Yeah. Are you thinking less about how to do things because you wait now? Think about it. They say it takes 66 days to build a habit. Yeah. If your missus, and I'm sure she's been telling you what to, what things are priority and what to do for more than 66 days. Same with mine. Yeah. When I go to do something now, and I'm not sure about something, I don't go to Google. I go to the missus. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. And I'm thinking, what the hell? No. And the other day I was like, no, I can't do this. I'm not asking her anymore. I'm going to do it myself because it's frustrating me. Yeah. But then you go and do it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. You just kind of sometimes you just crack on with it, or as you say, like go back. But what I've been doing, I've got another tactic is I will do something completely different, just to avoid it. Like something that doesn't even matter. It's like, right, we've we've got this like extractor fan, right, and it stopped working. It's connected to the lights, so when you walk in, the lights turn on and the extractor falls. So the lights still work. The extractor needs changing. I went up there once or twice and it's in the loft. So I went up there, messed around a couple of wires, couldn't fix. I'm like, this is probably an electrician's job, right? And then Mrs. like, have you sorted it out yet? Have you called someone? Have you sorted it out yet? And it's a call to electrician. But then I somehow prioritize like building a bin, a shed for the bins. So I started researching that for about 4 hours.
Oh my God.
It's like, why does that matter?
I think, do you know what, bro? This is me high-fiving Situl, because oh my God, this is, do you know what? I thought I was the person who does this. I sit at this desk. So we're sitting in my office right now, which is it's like a tiny room, and I was researching the same damn thing. I'll send you the link. Literally every day, I will spend an hour or two, or maybe even 3 of my day researching things which are so irrelevant and don't matter at all, but they make my life. Apparently, maybe they make my life easier, So the bin store will definitely make your life easier in some way. I've been researching robot vacuums. And I don't want to, because I don't want to vacuum after the kids have bloody spilt shitload of spaghetti and all that
after dinner.
After dinner, same spot after dinner every time. And I spend like time doing that. And then what else was there? It's just random things, and I'm like, okay. And I come to a decision, but that stuff isn't even relevant because I'm not going to buy any of those things just yet, or we're not going to make any of those things just yet. There's so many other things to be doing, but for some reason, I occupy my time. And there's this saying, right? I haven't got this saying right, that men will occupy themselves and make themselves feel better, by indulging in things which are not necessary. It's not the complete way of saying it, but as in and that's how I interpret it anyway, but I'll have it for the next podcast. But that's what, it's just like when you're focused, you only focus on that one thing and you're going to go for it and that's it, right? But there's a process of being focused. I have to go through these hoops, to jump through these hoops to be focused on what actually needs to get done. But you're right. I don't know why, but I think it's a male trait that you just focus your time on things which are not a priority. They're not a necessity.
Sometimes not even relevant.
Exactly. They're so irrelevant. And you know it as well, but you're wasting your time. But you just have this thing where you're like, no, I have to research this and I need to get this done now. Yeah. And then, like you said, then it's the next stage is, okay, actually executing on it.
It's literally happened last night. So we're basically going away in February, and then Paz like, have you booked the car parking for Gatwick?
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm looking at holidays for next year. I was like, why are you looking at holidays? You've not even booked the damn car park for the holiday. Half an hour later, and then she kept asking me, and then like I must have said something, and then she kind of lost it.
Yeah,
like literally stopped talking to me.
Yeah,
I was like, damn.
There's always something, always a priority, and you know what? Oh, and I was saying to you, like doing, you know, when they set you a task and you're doing it, and you're so close to doing it. So we were. So I spent last week researching holidays, and I called, you know, every single airline, like travel agent, etc., that we normally go with. And in the end, what happened was the person was so helpful on the other line. I was so close to booking something, and then I realized, okay, I've got all the options. I've ticked all the boxes that the missus asked me to tick. I was obviously going to send it to her or speak about it. And what I thought was only a day's work, right? Because booking a holiday takes bloody ages, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And I feel like you need a holiday after booking a holiday. Bro, the painful thing was when I was like so excited. I had everything written out, all these 3 different destinations split out, hotel split out, etc. And I was like, look, these are the options. Which one? Because I thought it's just a matter of picking which one. She's like, have you tried these dates? Maybe these dates will work better because. And I'm like, and that's it. You know what? Fine. You've got one. You know, you've got one. I'll give her one like period of grace or whatever. And be like, okay, fine. You make a change. Fine. I'm going to do it. I'll make the change, and I'll come back, and And the next day I came back, and I report back to her, and then she, have you? Yeah, this is all right. But, you know, I had an idea. And when women have an idea, I feel like, nah, bro. If they have an idea, you know what that means? Yeah, that idea is going to...
Cause you pain.
Yeah? Maybe not physical pain, but mental pain.
Mental, emotional.
Emotional, everything, where you feel like... And in your mind, you're just like, you want to grit your teeth. And you want to like... Or in your mind, you want to like, you know, just want the ground to swallow you up.
Yeah.
Bruv. I go away, make, you know, all, you know, get everything done, bring it back. And then they're like, you know what? Should we make this change? It's like another change after change after change. And by the end of it, like, you know what? I'm over it now. But no, you know what? You get it done. But I just feel like you can't make any decisions without them as a man after a while, you know?
Exactly.
Because in most cases or not, you start relying on them. I'm sure women, you know, our wives and our partners rely on us, but it's just like it's like a never-ending cycle, isn't it?
Nice, But then do you ever get told like you don't decide anything or don't make a decision after all of that?
She was like,
why don't you make any decisions?
Like, it's like, why can't you make a decision on your own? I'm like, because you trained me like a dog not to anymore. Like I feel like that part of my life is now gone, where I'm just like following around like a pigeon, like but it is true. Like, you know what? I'll be honest. My brother-in-law, you know, newly married, 1 month in, and he messaged me today, and he goes, my brother-in-law makes a lot of appearances in his podcasts, but as in not a physical appearance, but through me. But he messaged me, and he goes, I said to him, how are you, man? Because I haven't spoken to him after the wedding, or, you know, or he was away on his honeymoon, etc. He came back, and then I said, how are you? He goes, he goes, I'm good, man. I'm a bit bored, if I'm honest, without the wedding stress. And then he messaged straight away. He goes, don't tell my sister-in-law that, And do you know what? And I feel like he's like at the early stage now, isn't it, where he's getting to that point where it just gets, oh no. And I remember that the first thing they came back, and my sister-in-law was like, we need to. She's now obviously got more time on her hands, and she's now started to finish the things that, like, his house is lovely, like nice area. But as a man, as in, you just don't have time to furnish it properly. Like if you've got shelves and you want to put these books on there and all that kind of stuff. We don't think that way, right?
No.
We keep it clean,
that's
keep it functional, and that's it, right?
yeah.
And plain walls, maybe nothing on tables, nothing like that, yeah? But when, there's now this fashion thing about dressing a house. You're literally dressing with books, fruit, tables, magazines, whatever. So they got this new shelf thing book, and she's put loads of stuff there. And then I realize now it's just like, when you get married, the woman in your life will find, if there's nothing to do, she'll find something to do.
The trip to Dunham.
The trip to Dunham or B&Q, pick out paints. And if there's nothing to do, we'll break something to make it happen. yeah, exactly. But you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to be the bane of your life. No, I'm not. No. But yeah, I know what you mean, man. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like, they just find something to do. And then that's why I think now, going back to it, when you sit down, you probably feel guilty that you're not doing anything.
Exactly. Is it, as you say, because you're trained, you're being conditioned.
You're being conditioned. Yeah, exactly. My brother-in-law's being conditioned right now.
That's
he doesn't know it.
If he's listening, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, it's true, man. It's just one of those things, I guess. That, but then, you know what? There could be a role reversal. They could be thinking like, if they're on this pod right now, my missus probably say, "Well, you don't make decisions for yourself."
Yeah.
You can't.
There is this conversation happening in a parallel universe with two women.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And they're saying everything the opposite of what we just said.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's like, that's basically it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a never-ending cycle. There'll always be something to do, and I guess our brains will never stop working. Well, never stop thinking.
Yeah, that is it.
I think that's probably all we've got time for this week. But yeah, man, it was great to catch up and talk about these topics. But yeah, until next time, guys, please do like and subscribe and share. And just want to say thank you again for everyone who's out there listening, and the support you've shown really means a lot to us.
Yep, and if any of you guys out there have your to-do list, feel free to post them on the chat.
You can always send it to Situl so he can think about them.
Yeah, I'll procrastinate.
Take care, guys. Peace out.
See you later.